Good morning. We begin here at First Parish, Northboro, with announcements. And so the very first announcement today is that we are sharing worship on this blessed morning with First Parish Church of Berlin, Mass. And we're blessed to have a combined choirs who will be singing, and I want to give great thanks to choir music director Olga Rogach here and Bob Spasian from the Berlin congregation. And a few other quick announcements for those from Northboro, and maybe it works for you from Berlin as well. Please take a moment in this coming week to respond to the pledge requests. Your generosity in any amount is appreciated. And if your financial situation allows you to consider a 10% increase from your previous pledge, please do so. Having a solid commitment of funds for the coming year helps governing boards at all churches, parish committees, and your minister, and in this congregation in Northboro, your new minister, help them plan responsibly for the first year of a new ministry. The second announcement is that here in Northboro, the care days this coming week are April 16th and 19th. And if you are able to come and help care of the building and grounds, please be in touch with Donna Morris and look in the Perspective, our weekly online newsletter, for details. And finally, there's an oops in the printed order of worship, but it's not the one you might think. Because I've heard a few people say this morning, "For the beauty of the earth" is listed twice in the order of service. It is. And it's not April Fool's, and that's not the oops. The oops is that Leah Morris's beautiful hymn, "Peace Come Now," is listed as "Peace Come Down" in error. So it is "Peace Come Now." My apologies to Leah Morris, because I believe it was my error. So welcome to First Parish Church, Unitarian Universalist in Northboro. We Unitarian Universalists are a non-creedal, religiously liberal faith tradition. We hold in our worship and in our faith formation that each individual and each community will explore a wide and varied set of beliefs and ideas that encourage us to live life as a spiritual journey, deepening our connections to compassion, justice, and an understanding of eternal truths. I'm Reverend Abigail Stockman, the interim minister here in Northboro for just another month and a half. If you have any questions about Unitarian Universalism or this First Parish Church, please don't hesitate to be in touch with me or a member of this congregation. If you have questions about First Parish Church from Berlin,
it's Berlin, just to be clear. So I'm Reverend Misty Dawn Shelley, and I have the great privilege. I'm not right? It's Berlin. It took me almost 18 months to get it correct, so no worries. So it's my privilege to serve the First Parish Church of Berlin as its minister. And one announcement is we will be changing and rescheduling our Get to Know FPC Berlin, which was scheduled for next Sunday, but we are going to reschedule that. So look for your Friday email. I also was ordained in this church and was the intern here back in the day. It was a long time ago. So, we are a community together and from multiple locations. So, we take a moment now to greet one another by waving to those online. You can wave like this, or you could also just take a moment to greet one another across the aisles, behind you, in front of you. And yeah, would you, careful, Chris. Did you get, Chris is trying to like walk around and say hello to everybody. We just like to wave, right? So, we sing our singing bowl as a way to call us into sacred time and space. And this will be followed by our musical prelude, which is Tchaikovsky's The Seasons, April, the Snowdrop, which is a flower.
Dillard reminds us that we are here to abet creation and to witness to it, to notice each other's beautiful faces and complex natures, so that creation need not play to an empty house. In the spirit of abetting the source's work of creation and of witnessing to its awesome beauty as our source of hope, come, let us join together in worship. This morning, our chalice will be lit by Barry, now I don't want to... Ager. I'm glad you're not all from the congregation of Leo Minster, otherwise known as Leominster. But this morning, Barry Ager will be lighting our chalice from First Parish Church in Berlin. And Leanne Morrissey from First Parish Church in Northboro will be reading the chalice. Reading and writing the chalice. All the greats do.
Thank you.
With a nod to Susan Davidson Ashton. In this time of hope, we hear the bird songs, we feel the sweet breezes, and all around us we see that hope in the seeds and buds of new growth. As we gather this morning, let's make joyful noise. And with hopeful spirits, let's be there for one another in the renewal of the earth and blessedly held in that love for one another.
Please rise in spirit, body as you can, and let us join together in singing number 21 from the Gray Hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. The words are also on the screen if you wish to use that.
Notes. Let's see if I can read my own writing. So this morning I wanted to share, and this may be a little familiar for the folks from Berlin. We explored Wild Hope, which is a book by Gail Voss, and it's Stories for Lent from the Vanishing. Now we did this a year ago. However, this year I did use a bit of it. This book has a variety of animals and beautifully illustrated. And they are incredibly close to vanishing from our ecosystem. And each chapter holds a variety of animals who are either hungry, sick, homeless, poisoned, hunted, and desecrated. All those creatures known to be sacred to the lands and the people from where they have found their origin stories. This morning I wanted to talk about the wild horses, named by the Mongolians Taki, and Taki means spirit. Now the last horse vanished from human sight in 1969. And when the Europeans and Americans got news of that there were these beautiful horses that were never tamed for human use, guess what? They wanted them for themselves. And they were then held in circuses and zoos, and in fact, the Taki young foals died. In the end, 12 were captured and survived. Now, in the mid-50s, 1950s, that's what I'm talking about, a few conservationists devoted themselves to these 12. And by the early 90s, zoos and parks over 33 countries were tending to 1,500 horses. It was then, in the 90s, that a Swiss woman, who they never named in this book, by the way, who, when she was 19 years old, had seen the Taki images illustrated and painted on cave walls. And it was then, in the 90s, that she realized it was time to bring the Taki home. She chose 6 stallions and 5 mares to bring to a protected plateau in the south of France, which was geography that in fact echoed their ancestral lands in Western Mongolia. Over 10 years, 11 of those Taki became 55. The woman and her team, in fact, then began to bring them home to a remote steppe in Western Mongolia. 2,000 Taki now live and run wild. All have returned to their ancestral land. Some astoundingly, some haltingly. Because of the Swiss woman and all those who tended to those 12 that became 1,500. Because of humans. Many, or a few, who took that spark of the divine, that wild hope that we embody, and allowed it and opened it to bloom. Now, in this book, there are examples of Florida panthers and Hawaii nene and Indiana bat and California condors and peregrine falcons and red wolves and gray wolves, and the list is endless of those who are vanishing. But often a dream, seated in that sadness and love, quietly defies the cynicism and grows by, in fact, turning the fear of vanishing into work. It is daily, tedious, and life-giving work. It stretches the soul with listening to those dreams that are threatened inviting them to ask others for help. And they keep going. We keep going. Humankind, to support those creatures who need our love, refined, undying life that animates all living things. It is, in fact, through us, the dreamers, the scientists, the supporters, the wild, not impossible hope deep within each of us is born again and again into this world. And in this Easter tide that we practice, love takes flesh and makes all things new. May it be so. Beautiful anthem now. The choir anthem will be over.
Foster, and amen. The sharing
Get comfortable. This might be the only time in the week you actually have to breathe. So do that now. Feel grounded in whatever way that is for you. Great Spirit of spring and new life, Spirit of decay and death, we turn to you for wisdom and strength as we seek to live lives of meaning, of compassion. Let us be open to this powerful cycle of life. Everything that lives dies. Everything that dies has lived. May we make use of our compost, all that has been decaying, and let us fertilize the soil prepared for this year's plantings. We seek to live our lives fully in the midst of such pain and chaos, and yet so much beauty. We come seeking solace and healing, and one another, for none of us can do this alone. We seek love, a love that holds us, invites us to rest in its embrace, and does not, will not let us go. Amen.
In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace. In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace. Peace come down, peace come down, peace come down, peace come down. In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace. In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace. Peace come down, peace come down, peace come down, peace come down. In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace. In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace. Peace come down, peace come down, peace come down, peace come down. In this place and in this moment I call on the name of peace.
you'll want to turn to the back of your hymnal. So,
It's not yet.
oh, okay. So here's the thing. Abigail and I will read the not italics, and you get the not, and you get the italics. Which means we go first and then you go next. Okay? Earth, teach me stillness, as the grasses are stilled with light.
Earth, teach me suffering, as old stones suffer with memory.
Earth, teach me caring as parents who secure their young.
Earth, teach me courage, as the tree which stands all alone.
Earth, teach me limitation, as the ant which crawls on the ground.